The Undergraduate Student Association's Public Health Committee is in the process of passing a smoke-free campus resolution. The resolution so far has passed the first majority vote, but it must pass the second majority vote as well for it to be official. If the resolution is passed and signed, just to make things clear, it isn't a law. The USA does not have the jurisdiction to create campus policies and consequences, but it is simply a decree of the majority opinion of the campus student body. Smoke-free means eliminating the tobacco products. Therefore, the resolution in the end would encourage the administration to keep a sharp eye on the campus property. For more information, take a look at Cameron Lariva's article in The Griffin. Ladies and gentlemen, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and here at Canisius College, we had a week of pink. Let's talk about that after the break.
Want to achieve more than you ever thought possible? At Canisius College, you can. A Canisius education is packed with extraordinary opportunities like top-level scientific research, global service experiences, and real-world connections. Want to intern at a Fortune 500 company? Want to get into the best medical and law schools? Want to be a champion for social justice? You can. Here.
Everyone loves the picture I posted of you.
AT&T reminds you, it can wait.
Oh, babe, check this out. Hey, come on. You want a little chippy? You want a Dorito? Are you hungry? Come on and get a Dorito.
Babe, don't hurt my dog.
Come on, get a chip. Come on, get a chip. Get a chip. Come on. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Beginning in my sophomore year at Canisius, I was part of a research team developing treatments for children with high-functioning autism. This kind of research involvement usually only happens at the graduate or postdoc level, and I did it as an undergrad at Canisius.
Welcome back, everybody, to Canisius Connections. Now, here at Canisius, we had a week of pink, where our college painted the campus pink for cancer awareness. Colleges Against Cancer, or the CAC, is the hosting club behind Paint the Campus Pink. Sam Vigiani, the president of the CAC, mentioned that this is a campus-wide fundraising event. Let the record show that this is a new event to our campus, and they're looking forward to spreading the news and continuing the tradition. Cancer is something that ruins lives and families, but we can make a difference together. For more info, look at the article of Jenna French in The Griffin. Now, writers, poets, artists, all of you with that creative mindset, after much anticipation, the Peace Action Canisius College chapter has finally launched their new blog, Peace in Action, and they are looking for any interested students, staff, or faculty members that would like to contribute. Peace Action is a student organization dedicated to promoting activism and global awareness. Their focus lies largely in educating the student body on important issues, why they should care about them, and what action they can take as advocates for any particular cause. For more information on this group, please go to the article in The Griffin written by Simone Ritter. Guys, that's it for the big topics that have been happening over this past week. For all of this unique information, please read The Griffin. which can be found all over the Canisius College campus. After the break, we are going to catch up with Joe Soisson and see what's happening in the sports world. I'm Vincent Barile, and I'll see you next time.
What is Griff 4.1?
What is 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 4.1?
What's 4.1?
What is 4.1?
What is 4.1? What is 4.1?
What's 4.1?
What is 4.1? What is 4.1?
What's 4.1?
What is 4.1?
What's 4.1?
What is channel 4.1?
We are 4.1. We are 4.1.
We are 4.1.
We are 4.1.
We are 4.1. And
It's a great day to be a Griff.
Hello everyone, my name is Joe Soisson, your resident Griff TV sports analyst here this week to give you the hot takes on the NFL. So I want to start with Dallas. Amari Cooper goes to Dallas and Oakland gets a first-round draft pick. And I don't like this trade for a couple of reasons. First, on the Oakland side, congrats on Oakland by acquiring a first-round draft pick. But why did they have to go on this almost selling spree? Why did this have to happen in the first place? This was a roster that made the playoffs a couple years ago, and the only reason they lost was because they were at Houston, who had the best defense in the league with a third-string quarterback who hadn't played all year and had a week to prepare. I know they would have had to pay for all their stars. They couldn't afford Khalil Mack. They had to pay for Amari Cooper, but they went and got Jordy Nelson in the offseason. Jared Cook is back to his old form, and they picked up A.J. McCarron to back up Derek Carr. Defensively, they picked up Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie and Tahir Whitehead. All these players, aside from Jared Cook, were starters on other teams before they came to Oakland. And even if you say now they have all these players and a bunch of draft picks, you know who else had a bunch of draft picks and a lot of talent on their team and still couldn't get the job done? The Cleveland Browns. It's taken 2 years of acquiring draft picks and trading for free agents to get them to this point. They might not even get to 8-8. Granted, their future looks good, but it takes maybe 2 years to get back to the point that Oakland was at a year ago. As we move on to the next segment, it's Dallas, and along the lines of Dak Prescott. Dallas has this move for Amari Cooper was big, but it's been established that Amari Cooper is a number one slot wide receiver or number one string wide receiver. The last number one wide receiver that Dallas had was Dez Bryant. So you're going to ask Amari Cooper to take the place of Dez Bryant. Those two guys are not the same. First off, Amari Cooper hasn't really been in the number one receiver role before. You could make the argument that he was the number one receiver in Oakland his rookie year, but Michael Crabtree was the number one receiver while he was there for a good chunk of time. And Dez Bryant is a little bit bigger and a little bit more aggressive in his play style. Also, number one receivers shouldn't lead the league in drop passes, Amari Cooper. Now, the other reason that this trade was made was for Dak Prescott. They made the decision at the end. They have to make a decision at the end of the year as to what to do with Dak Prescott, and this makes sense. I mean, I think Amari Cooper might help but only just a little bit. Because if Cooper takes the number 1 receiver slot, that presumably means that the other team's best corner gets lined up across from him. In my mind, that means he gets less targets, which means Dak can spread the ball out amongst his other receivers, which typically means that Dallas does better if Dak spreads the ball. But like I said, if you're the number 1 guy and you drop a lot of passes, does that really mean that you're the number 1 receiver? Cooper is good, but he's not replacing Dez Bryant. It's not the same thing. Moving on from Dallas, the other main topic this week in the NFL was in the state of Florida. Jacksonville seems to have fallen pretty far from their glory that they had. Their offense has had 2 touchdowns in 2 games, and that's it. Meanwhile, their elite defense has given up 60. Last week, Blake Bortles was benched and Cody Kessler got the start. Didn't really help that much when he came into the game either. What also doesn't help is the fact that Leonard Fournette is also out with an injury. A lot of the blame here has been thrown on Blake Bortles, and for the most part, I think that's right. But the catch is there's no real solution for Jacksonville. Bortles has been their guy since 2014. His best year, numbers-wise, was 2015. He threw for 4,428 yards, 35 touchdowns, and those are the only numbers that look good for him that year. Jacksonville went 5-11. Bortles completed 58.6% of his passes. Last year, the top 16 quarterbacks all had above 62.5% completion. He had a quarterback rating of 51.8. That would put him in 21st in the league this year, just ahead of Brock Osweiler and just below Dak Prescott. He threw 18 interceptions, which is a career high, and he's thrown 8 this year, which is by the way, only 1 away from how many touchdowns he's thrown this year. And we haven't even reached the halfway point in the season. Bortles has looked really good at points in time. I mean, he tore up New England in Foxborough this year. He nearly beat the Patriots in Foxborough last year in the AFC Championship. But when you play well against football teams with large markets, Dallas, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, New York, New England, you become the next new big kid on the block. Look outside the New England games for a second. Here's a perfect example. Look at the playoff game against Buffalo. Bortles went 12 for 23 for 87 yards, and he had a touchdown pass, which was a 1-yard touchdown pass. He had really good games against Pittsburgh and New England the week afterwards. But his numbers have gone down since 2015, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. Is Bortles the scapegoat of the Jaguars' problems? Maybe. Is part of the lack of success the fact that their offense is banged up? Probably. But offense wins games, especially in this league. And is Blake Bortles winning Jacksonville these games, or is it the defense? To be fair, Blake Bortles has 7 game-winning drives, but that puts him in 28th among active quarterbacks. And you can't tell me that the face of this Jaguars team isn't Jalen Ramsey and that defense. Last topic for today, I'm going to throw out a possible trade idea. No idea if this would work or if this is in the works right now, but I think it's a noteworthy idea. Kansas City trades a draft pick, probably a first or a second round draft pick, to the Arizona Cardinals for Patrick Peterson. We know that Patrick Peterson doesn't want to stick around in Arizona, and Kansas City's defense has not been the same since Marcus Peters left. Patrick Peterson hasn't put up stunning numbers as of late, but he's still the top cornerback in Arizona, meaning he's going up against the other team's top receiver every time. Kansas City could use that veteran presence on a team filled with young stars. And this is a Chiefs team that year after year has tested New England. 40-43 this year. That game went into overtime. Last year, they won 42-27 in week 1. In the playoffs 2 years ago, they lost 20-27 to New England. Like I said earlier, offense wins games, but part of that statement is that defense wins championships. Kansas City has an offense. There's no doubt about that. And Patrick Peterson might just be the defense they needed to get to a Super Bowl. And that's the show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Vinny, for hosting today. Thank you, Backstage Crew. Without your help, we wouldn't be able to put on this production. If you like our content and want to see more, check out our Facebook page and YouTube channel for more episodes of Canisius Connections and Inside the Nest. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Canisius Connections Hybrid Show.